Lately, when I pay for Netflix, I feel a clear sense of unease inside, like I'm wasting my money. I'm not claiming Netflix makes bad content. There are still watchable things. But that's exactly the point. It exists, but it's not enough. Because when I subscribed to Netflix, my logic was simple. No matter what I feel like watching, whenever I'm bored, I'll open it and find something. Right now, that feeling is gone for me. I'm paying for Netflix, but my desire to even open Netflix has dropped, and that naturally makes this question bigger. Why am I paying for this? Right now, what I'm watching and what I'm waiting for on the platform is very clear and very limited. I'm waiting for Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm waiting for One Piece Season 2. I'm waiting for Wednesday Season 3. I watched Bridgerton Season 4 Part 1, and I'm waiting for Part 2. One of the things I watched is The Night Agent. I'm also waiting for the Peaky Blinders movie, and I watched the third Knives Out movie. That's it. These might be good. Yes, but that's all. For Netflix, one of the biggest platforms in the world. Because the real problem is this: when these shows arrive, I watch them, they end, and then there's emptiness again. My expectation from Netflix was not visiting a few times a year and leaving. When I want to clear my head and say, let me put on a movie, I want to find something new on Netflix. But lately, when I open Netflix and search for a movie, I keep running into the same things. It feels like the catalog keeps circling back and showing me the same covers. New, fresh titles that make me say I missed this are not popping out. And that turns the platform from a living library into a place I just stop by once in a while. Netflix used to fill that gap really well. Not just series, documentaries, reality shows, different formats, lighter content you can watch easily. Even while waiting for my big show to arrive, Netflix would keep me inside. Now it's the opposite. Until the thing I'm waiting for arrives, Netflix stays closed for me. That doesn't mean there is no content. It means there is less new content that feels watchable and appealing for me. And as a viewer, the most frustrating thing is paying for a platform that can't pull you back in. That's why I say these are not enough. Because what makes a streaming subscription valuable is not just a few big titles. It's feeding you during the in-between time too. Right now, those in-between periods feel empty on Netflix. I watch something, sure, but in daily life, when I say let me open Netflix and find something, I don't see a new option. Constantly seeing the same titles, constantly feeling the same way, eventually creates this thought: I'm not paying to watch, I'm paying to wait. And that feeling is exactly what wasting money feels like. One of the biggest reasons this emptiness exists is simple. The big flagship shows that used to be Netflix's backbone ended one by one, and new shows with the same weight did not arrive to replace them. Squid Game ended. Cobra Kai ended. Stranger Things ended. These were not just popular series. They were massive projects that kept Netflix in the spotlight, brought people back, got talked about with friends, and dominated social media. When those engines end, the platform needs a transition plan. The viewer needs to feel this. That era is ending, but a new era is starting. I'm not getting that new era feeling right now. That's why when I open Netflix, the platform feels smaller. There is content, but there is no weight, no buzz, no pull. And when I say pull, I'm not being spoiled. This is viewer habit. A platform's power is being able to deliver at least one must-watch thing every month. Even if a huge show ends, something else has to take its place. Netflix used to do this. One show would drop while another one rose. Now, when the big shows finish, there's a long silence left behind. The reason I'm not opening Netflix is not my mood. It's Netflix failing to rebuild that chain. When the chain breaks, everything on the platform feels smaller, more temporary, and easier to forget. And there's another annoying thing with Netflix right now. They keep saying things are coming, but there is nothing you can hold on to. Constant talk, constant rumors, constant this is coming energy, but nothing real reaches the viewer. A platform cannot be managed like that. You have to show a plan. You have to say this is coming, this is in production, this lands on this date. Right now, I don't see a plan on Netflix. I see uncertainty, and uncertainty lowers the platform's value, because waiting is one thing, being stuck in a void is another. And what I want is not even extreme. Either new big shows need to arrive that match the scale of the ones that ended, or something completely different needs to arrive, but something that will hit, something people will watch, talk about, and truly connect with. Netflix adding content every week does not save anyone, because most of that content is forgotten 2 weeks later. Viewers don't want to say something came out. They want to say something big arrived. And that is exactly what Netflix is losing right now, the feeling of a big arrival. What I expect from Netflix is to fix itself, find new IPs, fill the gap left by the old giants, start an era that calls viewers back to Netflix. Right now, having 4 or 5 watchable things is not enough, because the rest of the platform does not pull me in. And that turns the subscription from value into an automatic payment. And I think that's Netflix's biggest risk. People are not leaving because they hate the platform. They're leaving because they're simply not using it anymore. Another big problem is the season gaps. You love a show, you get attached, it ends, and then years pass between seasons. The gap should not be that long, because it's not just waiting time, It means the hype cools off. The viewer wants to stay in that world and feel some movement every year. But when a 2 or 3 year gap happens, the bond weakens, the buzz drops, and the platform feels less alive. Netflix keeps charging you every month, but you're not actively spending time there. And that naturally creates this question. I'm paying monthly, but where is my monthly usage? Now look, I have 2 big shows I'm waiting for, and it's said both could arrive in the same year. Avatar: The Last Airbender and One Piece Season 2. Great. Yes. But 2 big shows in the same year is not enough by itself. What else is there that year? How do you fill the months between those 2 projects? What makes a platform strong is not just 2 huge titles. It's having 3 or 4 projects spread across the year that people actually watch and talk about. Otherwise, the cycle stays the same. Watch, finish, leave. And there's the timing issue too. One Piece Season 1 came out in 2023. Season 2 is being talked about for 2026. That is a 3-year gap. 3 years is an insanely long time for a second season. When you wait that long, it's not just the show that slows down, the platform slows down too. Because during those 3 years, the momentum that show created is not contributing to the platform. Netflix either needs to shorten season gaps or activate other big projects to fill that space. The problem is not only waiting. The problem is not finding strong alternatives while you wait. If a second season arrives 3 years later, there must be other major projects to keep you inside during those 3 years. Otherwise, the platform becomes event-based, an app you only open when a big show drops, and keep closed the rest of the time. And that clashes with a monthly subscription model. That's why my conclusion is very clear. Netflix needs at least 3 or 4 truly strong, talked about, must-watch shows spread throughout the year. 2 big projects in the same year does not solve it. Season gaps stretching to 3 years does not solve it. 4 or 5 watchable titles is not enough. At this scale, the platform needs continuity, rhythm, and a steady flow of big releases. Otherwise, as a viewer, I end up in the same place again. What Netflix needs to do now is simple but huge. Build a plan again. It needs to find new IPs, and not the kind that trend for 2 weeks. Real long-term IPs that keep people attached to the platform and create a moment every season. Because when big shows end, viewers are left with a gap, and smaller shows do not fill that gap. Netflix has to create new flagships to fill it. Otherwise, we stay in the same loop. A few big shows arrive, get watched, end, and then the platform stays unopened for months. At the same time, Netflix needs to revive older IPs the right way. But when I say revive, I don't mean leaning on nostalgia. I mean expanding intelligently. Continuations with different characters, a different angle, new stories in the same universe, a real spin-off culture. When Netflix does that right, staying on the platform becomes easier. Because you stay inside a universe. You move from one season to the next. Even in the gaps, you watch something connected to that world. That's what's missing right now, that universe feeling and continuity. Another strong option is adaptations. Netflix has an unbelievable source pool. Books, comics, games, stories people already love and follow with built-in fan bases. When adaptations are done right, they work like new IP while launching with an audience already waiting. But the same condition applies. It has to be planned. Not like a one-season experiment, but built from the start with the feeling that this will grow. That is how you earn trust. And the thing that ties all of this together is clarity. Netflix needs to show a roadmap, a schedule where we can say in the next 12 months, this is coming. In the next 24 months, that is coming. People are not tired of waiting. They are tired of uncertainty. If there is a project and a plan, at least the viewer feels this. Okay, something is happening on Netflix. Right now, my feeling is the opposite. People are talking, but there is nothing concrete. Yes, that's everything I wanted to say. Now I genuinely want to know, are you happy with Netflix? Have you also started opening the platform less lately? Do you think Netflix should make new strong series, bring back older big IPs, or shorten season gaps? Write it in the comments and let's talk. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.